Hello and welcome to the Fingertip webinar. My name is Milla Nevanlinna and I'm today here with Jaakko Pellosniemi.
Hello, how are you?
During the next 30 minutes or so, we will give you an introduction into Fingertip and how we approach the challenges in today's organizations. Jaakko will also give a live demo of our app. In the end, we'll have some time for Q&A, so please use the question function in the webinar panel. And don't worry if you are not able to stay online for the whole session. We will be recording this and share it later on. So to the topic of today, organizations, big and small, businesses and nonprofit are all facing the same challenges of leadership and operational excellence. With all the information available today, we're still not somehow able to commit, collaborate, align, execute efficiently, meaningfully, and actually create real impact. So the problems of poor commitment, poor collaboration, no actual real-time view into what's going on is leading to misaligned decision-making and not alignment with organizational strategies. Then another element to this is the fact that the era we're all now experiencing and living in, like we all know, is in constant change, and that's the new norm of today and something that we just need to learn to live with. And yes, it does require a new way of work, and it requires a new way of leadership as well. And we also all pretty well know that success requires collaboration. We all know this, but for some reason, we're still not able to efficiently actually do it. You really can't make it on your own anymore. And also a lot of our processes and tools, and actually our leadership as well, is still driving and supporting siloed functions. So somehow we need to be able to more efficiently collaborate together. And the same goes to our networks. We're more and more working in ecosystems and different kinds of platforms, with different kinds of partnerships, which also require improved collaboration. Our mission at Fingertip is to help organizations make better decisions and implement them well. So to make better decisions and actually implement them well for good impact. That is what we're working towards. So what is Fingertip? Fingertip is a leadership app for modern organizations. And what we're doing is that we actually help you tackle the hard problems related to business problems of leadership, decision-making, and how we're doing it is by combining planning, decision-making, objectives management with efficient execution. At the same time, we're producing real-time documentation, audit-trailed, audit-trailed work, and this is driving accountability and faster execution at the same time. Fingertip is built natively on Salesforce, and all communication is always related to context and to the topics that we're actually working together with. So at the core of Fingertip is decision making. It's an end-to-end process, managing the whole life cycle of decision making, solving actually the problems in an accountable manner. we've put the needed 10,000 hours to actually test and design the life cycle for decision making. And it works in different kinds of decision situations and decision needs, and also with decision cultures and authorities. We're heavily using the RACI matrix to provide role-based accountability to decision making. The second element, which is really important, what we're doing is that we're aligning the actual execution and doing with the objectives. So you're able to tie together the strategies and decisions with the objectives of your organization, with your teams, and even on the individual level. So we're aligning and digitizing the decision process together. We're heavy promoters of accountability, and this is important for two very different reasons, actually. Firstly, obviously, there's the element of ensuring that we always have the right people, the right skills, and the right authority included in decision making. But secondly, which is something that I find very, very interesting, is actually because involvement is empowering. So being included in decision making supports commitment and actually enables purpose at the same time. And here, using the RACI responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed matrix in a real-time digital manner is actually great for governance and clarity. And then after kind of managing the decision making in an accountable way, aligned with the objectives of your organization, we're able to, with the Fingertip plans, in a very structured way, to provide what's actually probably most important in leadership, the big picture and the ability to focus. So we're able to tie together the purpose of the leadership, the strategy, with the operational excellence. So combining together the even from board and leadership team and management level all the way down to the individual actually on their operational level of working. And this is a beautiful way of creating a focused, efficient organization, which is very kind of relying on transparency, a very social process at the same time, and that's important for the accountability element. And actually, because we're on a digital platform, the value of documented and audit trailed work becomes really relevant. And in our coming webinars, we're actually going to be looking through different use cases. So diving into sales and leadership and interesting elements, from example, the gamification side. So then we'll be providing even kind of deeper insights into this. But now, Jaakko, are you ready to give our audience actually a demo about how Fingertip functions?
Definitely, Milla, and thank you. And wonderful to hear about your aspects of decision making, which I feel is by far the most important element in leadership, in knowledge work overall. That's the place where the value is created, and that is by far also, as a human being, as a co-worker, the most important thing to learn and our possibility for the future. I'm showing you now the Fingertip application, and as mentioned, it's a native Salesforce application, and we take special pride in the mobile application, especially. This works, of course, on your tablet as well as on your desktop. But if you want to make really, let's say, fast decisions, if you want to get people involved in a fast manner and be reactive, which is so important to be agile every day, every moment, then I would really recommend you to have a look into the Fingertip mobile application. Here on the top, we see the experience, the first experience. So I have here kind of my channels available, the recent activity, as well as the areas where something is happening in my organization. Here on the left, I have the different the menu structure, but just to get directly into the real thing, I'm working in ACME vehicle division, and we have a challenge here. Currently, in our company, it looks like that customers are changing their way of buying transportation services in a way. They don't want to own their own vehicles anymore. They want to buy the service, and somehow as a company, as a manufacturing company of vehicles, we really need to address this new challenge. And I'm showing you how we can do this in a digital manner. And here on top, I have this decision. The black icon here shows the decision. I have here other icons also, objectives and tasks, but I'm now interested in this decision here. And now I'm opening this decision, and I'm going into the details tab, which describes basically the business problem. Our vehicle division needs more growth. At the same time, our customers are seeking for more flexible ways to own their vehicles. Would the subscription business model be the way to go for 2021, for next year? What should we take into account? This is kind of the problem statement, the driver why we are doing this. And below that, I have also already articulated the potential decision that we are aiming to go for. Of course, we have, before we have arrived here, we have discussed this, we have ventilated this in meetings, but also used maybe the chatter functionality where you can discuss this and collect all the elements that are important when making the decision happen. So what we are actually here now suggesting is that is the following. So the vehicle division, we have conducted a customer survey, which clearly indicates that 73% of the potential new customers would not like to own their vehicles, but would rather subscribe for their usage. Also, 4 out of the 7 direct competitors have made the move or planning to make the move to the as-a-service business model by end of 2021. Based on the market study and the business model calculations, our vehicle division will offer also subscription in 2021, and all vehicles will be sold as a SaaS service in 2021. Accountable for the implementation is Walter Control. So this is in a way the articulation, the formulation of the final decision. And now I'm showing you how we are going to make this happen. I have invited my fellow stakeholders here. I'm representing here John Levesque, but I have Nathan, Anton, Sarah, and all these people that are relevant to this decision. I can actually open a person here. I can see that this person has actually visited the decision, and I can even work on their roles. So actually this person here is responsible, where I'm expecting for their strong contribution. Now that I'm ready with the decision, I'm actually ready to ask for the stances, and I move the decision forward. Here is the life cycle of the decision making. So from this share, collaboration phase. I'm actually making the proposal, and now I'm moving over to the next phase. I can still check the actual decision formulation here. I could add here files, whatever is needed, and then I'm making the proposal. And now what happens is that the relevant stakeholders are actually now invited for the decision-making process. They will be either informed and notified with an email, but a much more modern way would be, of course, to use the app and just get notified. And here you can see now that I'm kind of now supporting this with my stance. So this green icon here representing that, and now I'm waiting for my fellow colleagues about their opinion. So I don't want to make a decision too hastily. I want to kind of understand what they are thinking about this, so that I have everyone's commitment and I have also everyone on board. I'm seeing here that there is people reacting to this, and while I'm updating this, I can see already that answers are flowing in, and I'm starting to understand. So Sarah Rice just gave me, and Sarah is Milla, and she has just given me a positive support for the decision. And again, new information flowing in from Alicia, Nathan, and let's see what the situation looked like. Wow, there is one opposing actually. It's Nathan, and let's see what he says. I think we are moving very hastily into shutting down our existing customer base of vehicle owners. I believe a lot of people would love to own their vehicles, no strings attached, many years from now. Well, very important and valuable information, and no worries. I mean, this is adding to the understanding. But it looks like that most of us are actually supporting the decision, and I know Nathan's view on the fact, but the fact is that 73% of the customers want actually to have a subscription model next year. So even though there is one person opposing, I'm still ready to make the decision, the final decision. So I'm pressing here on this icon here on the gavel, and here I have the information, the amount of views, and I can then comment this even. And of course, I would do all this by speaking my results in, not typing. So the dictation functionality is very strong in these tools. I also show that I can use actually different. So I'm having here an iPhone emulator. And now what I do is that I could reject or approve. What I do is I approve the decision like this, and now the final decision is made. It becomes in a way legally binding. We can see that the decision has moved to the decide phase. I can also indicate here with my traffic lights that this is going well forward. The trend helps us also to understand what the situation is. Fingertip is not just about decision making, it includes a lot of other things. For example, you can attach tasks to this decision. You have a full audit trail about this what has happened in this decision. and many things more, to learn from your decisions, to assess the business situation, improve your decision making, and don't worry, depending on your user level, you will have the functions available that you will need for completing and making great decisions for the future. So I have now shown you how I'm able to make a decision digitally, how I'm able to formulate a decision in a form and ask for the support. And basically, I showed you today the very critical moment of actually making the proposal and then final decision-making situation. Fingertip covers the whole life cycle for making great decisions. So, Milla, what do you think making decisions in this way?
Well, first of all, in a way, what the digital platform provides is obviously a structured methodology, which is tying together all the different elements related to the decision-making process, the different stakeholders as well, and the fact that you can include within your organization or outside stakeholders and stakeholders for the decision-making is extremely valuable. And I love the way that you said that you're using the dictation, and that's probably something that people are more and more growing to. The fact that you can then now the individual decision that you made can be then added to, for example, a meeting where it's discussed, or access to a strategy plan shared with leadership and different elements. So that's a big plus. So Jaakko, thanks for the demo.
My pleasure.
Okay, and then we have a couple of minutes for questions. And okay, so here's a good question from the audience. What's on the roadmap for Fingertip? And I love the fact that working in a software company, we always have a roadmap, and there's always something exciting coming along the way, even though there's significant development already done to get an application so polished and functional as Fingertip is. To give a quick answer, I want to highlight the AI elements. We just came out with Fingertip 7.0 last week, and then actually it's the topic for next week's webinar, going through the highlights of what's new in that side. And there's so much exciting stuff already now happened on the channel communication side, and what we're doing with objectives management, especially for the OKR methodologies. But the most exciting thing, I think, is AI. Or what do you think, Jaakko?
Well, I'm very much concentrated on the UX. So how do we get people to do their work really efficiently, and how do we make them really like what they do? And Fingertip is making really great steps also in this respect, and we are in a phase where we are building our roadmaps and making our decisions with Fingertip itself, of course, and I'm really excited about how we use the system and the mental models that are happening in our heads when we are using something like this. What is actually happening when we are making decisions? What's actually happening when we are setting objectives, and how that is then manifested on the user experience side.
Okay, then there's a question about the Salesforce platform. So yes, Fingertip is natively on Salesforce. It's beautifully integrated, and the beauty there obviously is the fact that you can relate and attach your decision making and leadership and planning to everything else that's happening on your Salesforce. So actually really create the network and added value with the information, tying it to the decision making. But
maybe I also comment that actually Fingertip works also standalone, so it comes with the Salesforce wonderful operating system, you could say, which offers you all the benefits from the best security in the cloud, offering you huge scalability, just to name a few of those market leader elements. So standalone or in your organization, really fast starting an adoption with us.
Good, thank you, Jaakko. Taking care of the time so that everyone gets back to their daily work as we've promised. So to in a way summarize, so Fingertip is managing and tackling the challenges in modern organizations by digitizing decision making, tying it together with the task management and the execution, tying it together then with the strategies of the organizations, and actually helping with meeting management and different elements that are kind of still the core bone of work even in the modern era. And then at the same time we're also using the objective management to keep the organization aligned and in focus. And as you see on the kind of outer skirts of the image on the screen, we have a lot of cool elements inside the application that we will actually be diving into how to use them in our coming webinars, which you can now see on the screen. So there's one per week now moving forward. Next week, like I said, we're looking at the 7.0 release highlights, which is our spring 20 Salesforce compatible update with a lot of new elements. Then the week after, it's going to be about leadership functionalities. On March 12th, about objectives management and especially objectives and key results, then a session on sales, and then last but not least, gamification. So what have we actually done on the gamification side to increase adoption in Fingertip and Salesforce overall? So I want to at this point thank our audience and thank Jaakko for the good demo, and hope everyone a good rest of the day, and thank you for joining.
See you soon. Bye bye.